Usually when I talk about the Detroit Lions getting good injury news, I'm talking about our team. But in this week's segment on the injury report, first one that we know, we are going to be talking about not someone who the Lions are getting, but instead someone who our opponent is losing. And they got hurt on the last few plays of the game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20 in last week's game. And in the final drive of the Commanders, their arguably best defensive player got hurt. And we are now hearing that Buccaneers could reportedly be without Antoine Winfield Jr. for several weeks. So, of course, that makes him a certainty not to be playing against the Detroit Lions this weekend. So, what does this mean? Where are they looking? And what should we be thinking about this as Lions fans? And what does it mean for our team as well? So first, let's just start out with who he is. All right, Antoine Winfield it's simple. Honestly, it's really, really simple. He is one of the best safeties, honestly, if not the best. Okay, he's a top 5 safety, consistent Pro Bowler, All-Pro in the NFL. That's what he is. If you look at his 2023 season, he is a guy who had 3 interceptions. He had a PFF grade of 91.5. All right, that's ridiculous. All right, he has been good every single year that he has played. There has not been a down year or a crap year for him, if I'm being completely honest. When you look at his overall grades from PFF, his rookie year was almost a 70, 86 his sophomore campaign, a 78 his third year. Last year was a 91.5 where he put it all together and got himself a nice little contract extension. You might remember Antoine Winfield. He came out of Minnesota. He was a Golden Gopher. He was a playmaker in college, but I was one of the people that was like, all right, he's got the legacy, right? Antoine Winfield. All right, that's why he's a junior. His daddy was a pro, right? He's got the legacy, so that's good. But he also has the brain and the playmaking skill. But does he have the speed? Does he have the size? And the answer when he got to the NFL was a resounding yes. He was a major part of why this defense was so solid when Tom Brady was here for the Super Bowl, like for different things like that. I want to say that might have been his rookie year or second year. So he is a really good player, but it's not just him. I mean, this secondary in general is really, really banged up. All right, when you look at it, their starting left corner, Zion McCollum, out. He is not playing. All right, Josh Hayes is out. Now you have Antoine Winfield Jr. out. All right, this is a lot that they are doing. They have now put Bryce Hall on IR. They have brought back a familiar face in Keenan Isaac, who is a player who has played really, really well in preseason, really impressed the team last year, but he's a guy that they let go this year. All right, he was picked up. I don't remember who he was picked up by. It was like the Panthers or something like that. And then Dave Canales, that makes sense, right? Former OC, picked him up, but he was waived by Carolina. So now he's landed back with Tampa Bay. So now they have this guy who, is, I think, a second-year player. He's coming in to play corner. Will he actually get snaps? I don't know. You've got the injury to Antoine Winfield. This is not good. So here's what I want to talk about in this video. This is setting the pace. This is setting what we need to know for our offense and our passing game that, quite frankly, struggled last week. Jared Goff wasn't bad. He threw for 217 yards, and what we have saw around the NFL in general is that offenses were pretty far behind the defenses. Some offenses clicked and they were going right away, but for the most part, offenses were behind the defenses. Jared Goff actually was just fine as far as passing yards are concerned in week 1. There weren't a ton of players that threw for more. All right, Stafford did when we played him because he threw the ball 50 times, 49. All right, don't want to be a liar here. It's 49. It's not 50. All right, so our passing game didn't quite look in sync. I don't think that our new signings, Tim Patrick, were ready. I don't think that our new signing in Allen Robinson was ready. So therefore, we didn't have someone on the outside. Donovan Peoples-Jones has proven himself to basically be unplayable at this point. I think we may have only suited 4 wide receivers for the game. So when I see the injuries that are happening to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the secondary, all right, not to mention the fact that Kalijah Cansey is hurt. Logan Hall on the defensive line is hurt. So you start asking yourself the question, like, who's rushing the passer here? All right, who's going to rush the passer? Are they going to have to blitz to find the ability to rush the passer? But then you're putting a young secondary in a compromised position. This is setting up for Jared Goff to have a monster day through the air. An absolute monster day. So if you're a fantasy footballer, whatever you might be, all right, all things go Jared Goff. All right, all things go Jared Goff. Whether it's Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, look for him to get involved in this game. Look for our receivers to take advantage of this secondary. I just hope that they can get Tim Patrick to a point in the offense. I hope that they could get Allen Robinson, one of these two guys, to play 50% of the snaps on the outside, have a good understanding of the playbook, so we can do more wide receiver and truly run our sets the way we want to. Because right now, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team looks ripe for the picking in the defensive secondary. Quite honestly, if I'm the Bucs, I'm frustrated at this. I'm frustrated at this because you're sitting here and this is, and tell me if you've heard this story again. I've talked about this with the Rams. This is a revenge game. We ended their season, and nobody holds a grudge quite like Baker Mayfield. Even though we're starting to see that Matthew Stafford holds a grudge pretty well himself. Now I'm hearing that he said he was not amused by the Jared Goff chants, all that kind of stuff. I still don't understand why Matthew Stafford thinks we are going to cheer for him to beat our team. Like, I still don't understand why Matthew Stafford believes he can come into Ford Field and be our favorite quarterback. You know, like, you put a ton of years in here. You love the city. I get it. You asked to leave, bro. You asked to leave. Jared Goff is here. He just signed a long-term contract extension. He believes in what we are doing, and I understand that you had reason to ask to leave. You didn't want to go through another rebuild, and I understand why you're upset now, too, because now all of a sudden that you're gone, the Lions have put together a team that is even better than the team that surrounds you in L.A. I get why you're upset, but come on, man. Like, understand, this is a business. This is the way things work. So Matt Stafford held a grudge. Baker Mayfield's going to hold a grudge. I think overall this offense is going to test our defense very, very much so. This is an absolutely loaded and stacked offense for the Bucs, and that's why Baker ended up with 4 touchdowns. Bucky Irving as a backup running back looked really good. He's already pushing Rachaad White. Jalen McMillan out-snapped their 2 wide receivers, Godwin and Evans, so he as a rookie is already looking good. Graham Barton has settled in nicely at the center role. This is a team that offensively is set. This is a good offense, so we need to get pressure on Baker Mayfield, and we need to do something we didn't do against the Rams as much as I thought we should have, and we need to finish those plays with sacks. We had 3 sacks, I believe, against the Rams. Should have had 6. We need to do that. Baker Mayfield's going to hold on to the ball longer. He's going to give our defense more opportunities to sack it, but also that means that our secondary is going to have to hold longer. So, long story short, the good injury news is not even on our team. It's something that happened to them. Their defense is very, very banged up. I would look for our passing game to have a field day against the Bucs, and anything less than that might be time to be like, all right, what's going on with this offense that we haven't figured out? All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.